All right, folks, welcome on back here this Thursday afternoon, October 15th, shortly after 2:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Welcome on back here for our afternoon meeting. Let's get a quick sound check just to begin. Make sure everyone can hear me loud and clear. Great to see Grant, Leo, Chuck, Greg, Stefan, Donnie, Jose, all of us joining us right here inside the trading room. And of course, across social media, Facebook and YouTube Live. Welcome on back, guys. So taking us into the afternoon, we have the Dow moving back on up, recovering a bit from this morning's pre-market drop. I mean, hey, see that also on the screen here too. So, just to begin this stock, CBAT up 13+%. I mean, we're pretty familiar with this stock. You could see from the daily chart. Ended up trading this beginning from the end of September, going throughout October here so far. I mean, not every day. You could see obviously a big move going back into the end of September. It gapped up that much more in pre-market. Totally dumped off, and then of course afterwards squeezed back up. This is one of a few of these like energy stocks that have been pushing up over the past like couple of weeks, right? So it's not just CBAT, it's SUNW, Sunworks. OPTT had a small little push going into the early afternoon. That one's a bit slower maybe, but still up 12%. And from this morning, SPI, right? I mean, this is really the first one that we were watching of these, at least as of today. This was also actually, I think, the first one of those that ended up popping back in the end of September. So you could see the big pump and dump on the daily chart, pump and dump this morning. No surprise. So even my line here on my 5-minute chart, we could just take that out right here. But yeah, going into the afternoon, at least for these energy stocks, SPI, we're not going to focus on. We'll just pick and choose our battles here. Pola, another one I wanted to jump to pretty quickly. Pola Power. Pretty low volume. I mean, this was moving with them at the time, but not nearly not nearly as much over the last like few days. So out of the others so far, I mean, that Sun W trade right away we'll put on our list. And with that, the CBAT trade too, CBAT, although it's pulling back a bit, I'd say itself. Hopefully this isn't the end of the run here. So for right now, we'll at least take a quick look across the chart, across time and sales. It is dumping off pretty quickly here. Looks like we had a lot of volume filled at 370, 368. I was going to comment on that right before this last shakedown. I mean, pretty much spiked right down to 368 or so. So hopefully that was just a minor little drop from there. Hopefully a squeeze back up, but a nice steady downtrend off the highs. So, perhaps there's more to come first, but otherwise, if it keeps dropping, I would say find support perhaps roughly around this 360 area from the chart. Held pretty nicely as a resistance. It took a little shimmy but broke higher. So it hasn't really been tested as support since. So if it ends up dropping below, that 368 little area there, just 360, I think looks like a stronger support level from the chart. All right, so CBAT, Sun W will just slip on our list here to begin. As I had said, the markets dropped off from yesterday afternoon going into the pre-market this morning, have made a gradual recovery since. Another energy stock perhaps that we could look at while we're at it. It's moving up with the market today. Plug. This one's super slow. I just got the ping on this from one of our traders just going into the meeting. Listen, I mean, it's just almost too slow. It made a nice little push going into 130, broke above 17. It is near the highs. I do like that part. And of course, with NEO pushing up, a few of the other EV stocks that made a big move from earlier today, perhaps this could be of note heading into the afternoon. Just it's almost too slow though for me. I mean, again, I like the fact it's near the highs. We did have resistance on this trade. I drew a line on my pre-market chart on my other platform at 1710 and at 1723. So it's kind of just shaking around within that range. So I'm not as interested here just yet. Right. We will take a look, though, at NEO. We will take a look at a few of the other stocks that we ended up calling out and trading from this morning. So just to go over once again, NEO here breaking new all-time highs. I mean, that was as early as pre-market. But, as soon as the market opened up, it made that drop with the market, but then slingshotted right back up. I mean, made that break under and over 26. From there, squeezed all the way up, broke above 27, trended up towards the high of the day, 29.23. I thought it was going to move up higher. I thought heading into the mid to late morning, we were going to see this re-break above 29, run up closer to the next decade number at 30. So, ended up tailing off, ended up breaking below support roughly around 28.50-ish. Nice short, I guess, for what it's worth as the markets were moving up. I wasn't there to take that short. At least a few of our traders were jumping in, though, for that, like 25, 30 cents a pop as it dropped down towards that 27 level. So ended up bouncing nicely from 27 from pretty much that morning consolidation area and squeezed back up. It's trading so much volume, so it's of course, active given the news, given the recent run from yesterday. And if the markets begin to fall off, perhaps we'll see NEO drop off a little bit faster. So it could be in play. Just for right now, again, I mean, it's just trading so much volume. I'd rather focus on something else just to begin. All right, I see a few chats here on the chat board from Kathleen saying NNDM worth watching. All right, let's take a look at that. Yeah, nice push so far, Kathleen. No surprise from Kathleen making a very good call out, but hey, it's up to 14+%, number 20 on the gainers list. We would have ran into this once we went from top to bottom, but great call right now. I mean, better now to look at it than 5 minutes from now. So hopefully it ends up making a big move here coming up. Looks like on the ask, it looks like a lot of volume to break through to begin. Looks like a couple of bigger orders at 421, 422. Aside from that, though, 430, you could see about 22, 23,000 there on the ask. All right, so good call, Kathleen. We'll put the NNDM at least on our list for the meantime. And then Chuck saying he picked up 9 cents on Snapchat. Snapchat's like a side list stock to me, so I'll definitely take a look at it. It's been very active. And I incorrectly called out the all-time high or near the IPO price. It still has like another $1 to go, if I'm not mistaken, back in 2016, 2017. Yeah, I mean, this was like a $29 stock, all-time high set back from March 3rd. So it's creeping up there day by day. It'll be interesting to see when that happens. Hey, it's up 1.6%. Nice little push. Chuck made his money on the trade. Nice job. At least for right now, again, sideless stocks. So if there's nothing else really looking that great, maybe we'll come back to it. All right, this staff trade, though, making the big dump off that I was expecting. I will say, though, leading into the market open, it was pushing up greatly, popped above 2, moved up towards the next iceberg resistance off 250. That was even before the market opened up. So by the time the market did open up, I wasn't there to take this pop because normally for a stock that was up as much as staff is, I would expect for it to pull back as soon as the market opens up there. Ended up just taking off right away. So I'll zoom in on the chart here pretty quick. Staff's still up 83%, but obviously now at this point, just likely to dump off lower. If it ends up breaking over 150, I will just say this. If it breaks 150 cleanly, I wouldn't be surprised if you get about 10 or 12 cents on the trade, maybe 15 cents. I'm not really itching for that. I mean, I feel like there could be way better opportunities heading into the afternoon. And if it doesn't make that 10 or 12 cent push, then you're kind of just watching the grass grow or watching a stock continuing to dump off. So for the afternoon, not as jumpy to watch this staff. Again, from the morning, though, you could see at least after 9:30, it took off right away. So at that point, it ended up holding support from the 250 pretty nicely. Moved up to the high of the day, 334. A nasty shake from that point, though. And once you see the sell-off come in, it's not to say once it broke below 3, but once the big sell-off does come in here, maybe a big iceberg from 330 or 325. Nonetheless, though, it begins to snap down, make higher or lower highs, break down below the next support. You do not want to get stuck hoping and holding because this is typically what happens after. All right, LYL making a nice afternoon push, at least for us here. Pretty interesting. Check out the news on this trade. I've never really seen this ticker before. Dragon Victory International. That sounds like a pretty strong name company. Trading higher, not currently seeing company-specific news. That doesn't really help me out too much. All right, so, I mean, hey, it's pushing up nicely. You always do hear me say, I don't really care what the news is so long as we follow the volume and the stock. All right, well, we will do that here. I would at least like to see some sort of news. Nonetheless, though, we do have a tight spread for right now. The liquidity is, somewhat there. I mean, at most price levels, you see a, larger order on the bid or the ask, including on the ask, you have some larger orders ahead, 182, 188, 197, some funky price levels there, guys. I mean, check up. And right as I was about to say that, look ahead at 2. I was about to say, check to see what's ahead at 2. It wasn't showing at the time. A 53,000, 52,000 share order on the ask. There we go. All right, so that's our major level to work with heading into this afternoon, guys, on this LYL stock. Right off 2. Hopefully it makes the push higher towards there. All right, HGSH, China real estate pump and dump. So not really too interested at this point. Hopefully LYL doesn't make that same move. HBP, interesting. It is shortable for those of us that have TradeStation, but it looks like super flat, not really doing anything here. So, maybe tomorrow we'll keep this in mind. So long as it's, as long as it's shortable. For right now, though, kind of a wacky chart from the market open, popped up, dumped back down, and held support. Moved back up to make a new high, another dump. It was like building this like really shaky trend of higher lows and higher highs, but again, pretty similar. The sell-off came in, it ended up breaking down, made a lower high, and from there just kind of stalled. What do we have here? From Chelsea, she's asking SRNE Sorrento in the chat board here at least. And I'll take a quick look. Just it's not on the gainer side just yet or at the top of the gainers. It is moving up pretty nicely there, though, Chelsea. It was a stock that dropped off greatly yesterday. So if you're in it right now, I mean, hey, you're looking pretty good. Maybe I'll come back to this also at the end. I don't want to stray too off course from the gainers list for right now, though, guys. So let's just finish up here, and then if there's anything else, we'll kind of come back here at the end. And DXF, a lot of these China stocks up today. Not really too keen on putting them on. They're all washed up at this point. This EIGR, though, I mean, we were calling this out even from pre-market this morning, at least. It was pushing up nicely. I was saying it was pretty interesting. I said the order book needed to fill in a bit more. It had a big spread at the time. So when the market opened up, we had a big drop and obviously big push back up here. So, yeah, heading into the afternoon, what's the volume like off 150? Some volume coming in. This was from the morning, right off the market open, or at least leading into the market open. Only this lighter shade of green here represents volume filled recently off 1050. All right, well, you have a couple of prints filled on the time and sales, bigger transactions over 1,000 shares. So who knows, maybe the next breakout, the next pop over 1050, we'll see it run. It's on a nice trend, so we'll give it a look. EIGR. FRSX here. Got a few more of these. I see like pump and dump stocks from the past. CREG, another China stock. This one, I want to check back on the daily chart for. You could see even just from the daily chart here, if it's not the red bars, even the green bars here, what happened, the following days or days after, pump and dump over and over. Looks like the stock took a big hit back from 2015 even. Yeah, I mean, hey, it's near the highs right now. So for right now, I don't mind putting it on our list. It still seems kind of active. We'll kind of be near the bottom. We've seen some of these stocks play out in the past, though, and especially today, some of those stocks already that we've gone through. All right, let's get to a more familiar name here. GameStop, GME. Yeah, pushing up beautifully here. Right towards the high of the day, 1444. Good timing at least. Hopefully not too late. So the news on GameStop, this was back from, I think, Friday of last week even. Strategic partnership with Microsoft ended up making a huge pop and drop and pushed all the way back up even afterwards. So, very active stock. It has a tight spread for the meantime, but probably open up a little bit more if this continues. All right, so GameStop definitely on the top here so far, looking great. There's our OPTT. Sleep Number, SMBR. I think this is Sleep Number. Yeah, SMBR. They're $66 stock already. I had them on my earnings calendar going into today. If I'm not mistaken, I think they are reporting after the bell today. Wow, they dropped from moved from 20 all the way up to 66. Pretty crazy. All right. I guess we'll pass over it, though. Pretty big spread, pretty expensive. UAVS dumping off here from the highs. Not a whole lot else out there, guys, on the gainers list. We'll hop over to the losers list, see if there's anything looking just as good, if not better. FSLY down big, dropping off pretty nicely here. Hey, listen, pretty expensive stock, but if you're looking to trade it, go for it. I mean, it has a big spread at times, so I'd say more for our level 4 or 5 traders here inside our trading room. You guys know who you are. This would be a good stock to follow. It's trading about 48,000 shares per minute still. At this point in the day, that's a lot. So, very active, pretty expensive. Nice trend, though. VRTX, not to be confused with, I guess, VXRT, which also is kind of making a similar drop off. VXRT, I think news came out on them in relation to a COVID vaccine. I guess it's not looking as good as what they had projected. All right, CYCN from yesterday. This was unfortunately a big dud. We had this on our afternoon watch list. We had this on the morning watch list. Going into the afternoon, I was really looking for a squeeze off 350. It just kept dropping. It held the level perfectly, broke down to the next support 330, kind of stalled out from there. And even this morning, it just kept going. I mean, for a stock that was down 57, 60%, however much, right? Like we've seen, you would hope to see a dead cat bounce at some point. Just kept dropping this morning. And I mean, who knows? Maybe later on today, maybe tomorrow morning, I'll make the pop. I'm not willing to bet that'll be this afternoon. If it ends up making a pop, we will be there to call it out, but I don't think it will happen today. Just keep it on your list. Maybe tomorrow, maybe next week, perhaps at some point. The OCX here, I mean, kind of a vice versa, right? This stock was on the percent gainers list yesterday. It dropped all the way down. It was shortable. And I mean, kind of similar to the other one there, the CYC, and the stock just kept dropping today. All right, Bloom Energy here. Kind of a familiar name now at this point. Range bound a bit between 1950. All right, folks. I think that just about does it, at least across the gainers and losers list. If there's anything else that you would want me to look at, just type it here in the chat board. I'm looking across Benzinga Pro in the signals page. I got one stock so far. That's pretty much it. And I don't know if that stock's going to be looking too good. Let's just see. It's at the high of the day. That's all I know. IMGN. I'll take a quick look here. It's pretty slow. It's up 2.3%. More of a level one trade. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I'm not going to hate on slow. Might be too slow. Yesterday's high is 554. So should it break 550, 554? I mean, 560 here even. 12,000 share order on the ask. I mean, who knows? Maybe we could have a runner, but for right now, I guess we'll kind of keep it on the side. Chuck picking up another 5 cents on his Snapchat trade, just this time on the way down. There you go. And Kathleen just got out of the LYL trade, picked up 21 cents. Very nice job, Kath. NET moving down, says Michael. It is, very active stock over the last few days, down 5%. It is shortable. You know what? Hey, I'll put it on our list for the meantime there. Bit of a spread, little expensive, but given the activity over the last, week or so, breaking all-time highs, you had to expect at some point some sort of pullback. Well, it came off 60. Actually, a huge smart money print came in likely just as it kept dropping here right off 230. Yeah, let's take a quick look. How about this for all of us? Let's try and find the smart money print, guys. Where do we have our big level here on this trade? Looking at the tape. What do we have as a smart money level on the time and sales? Be a quick little teaser for any one of us on social media. Quick little teaser for our classes. Yeah, we got a 227,000 share transaction on the tape at 58.85. There we go. So 58.85. I don't know who's doing what at that price, but it's a smart money print. Somebody knows something, you'd imagine. Technically, if I'm not mistaken, I did a quick scan just looking at it, but it could have been like an uptick right there. Let's see. Was it? No, downtick. So technically, they can say it's printed more closer towards the bid, so they call that a sell print technically. That doesn't mean it's going to continue to drop off as much. It dropped off so far. So if it ends up pushing back up towards 58.85, in particular, perhaps 59, if it holds, or if it even makes a lower high here and comes back down, we're going to see continuation from that point. All right. So yeah, net looking pretty interesting for that smart money print alone. All right. Let's see. Chuck says RAD Rite Aid is one of my dark horse picks for the day at 10. Yeah, you might be waiting a little bit there, Chuck. I mean, it's a dark horse pick for a reason, right? So keep trading that Snapchat. I will say, at least going into the afternoon, if it ends up making the push over 10, could it be a pop? Maybe. It's a nice setup as we would define it from class. All right, from YouTube here. Don't want you to think I forgot you guys there. RJF, he's asking, I think you can climb back staff. I mean, yeah, that's what I was saying before, just looking at that 150 level. If it were to break over that 150 just then and there, I was saying I could see it making like, maybe like a 10, 12, 15 cent run up maybe, but not as interested in this. All right. All right, folks. Oh, and really quick for all of us tuning on social media, really quick, I told you guys from yesterday, I said from the day before, if you've been watching these meetings, maybe you've been anticipating maybe an announcement coming up here at the end. So I wanted to tell all of us on social media, quick heads up, our Traders Talk workshop, which we always host live inside our trading room, which we will always continue to, just for one time only next week on Tuesday, we will be hosting that on social media, live on YouTube at least. So stay tuned. Make sure that you guys are there coming up Tuesday. That'll be Tuesday morning, right at 11:05 Eastern time. We will typically do that just like once or twice across the whole year for free on social media. So a big special event. This is really a great point in time for you to better understand why we do what we do, how we do what we do, most importantly, and go from there. All right, guys. For all of us on the trading room, at least, well, I'll take us going into the close. Give me a quick break, at least. Got to refill up the water bottle. I'll post and tweet the picks, but I'll be right back on the mic, guys. All right. I'll talk to you soon.